Hello, all right, I am back once again. It is time. We are ready for a big game with a night study. Atlanta FaZe versus Seattle Surge.
This is a tough one, man, because obviously Seattle Surge, our Major 3 champions, have had some difficult losses, to say the least, so far throughout Stage 4. They lose that series to Boston. They lose that series to New York. Nothing really has been going right for them, and then yesterday, they go down 0-2. They fight all the way back to at least force the game 5 versus Minnesota, but then they fall short there. On the opposite side, Atlanta FaZe, they start off this stage hot. Nice 2-0 start, but then their last 2 series have really just put them in a blender. The 3-1 loss to LAG, followed up by a loss to the London Royal Ravens, who are looking in prime form. It just comes down to the respawns for both of these teams. 2-5 so far throughout Stage 4. When it comes to hard points for both of these squads, I think that is going to be the key to success for either squad, whoever's going to walk away with this series.
Well, let's find out. A little bit of a replay from the Grand Finals, but neither of these teams looking on Grand Final form. But a win here will put some minds at rest. Already you can see the first kind of interactions going down for P1 control, but only points scored after 20 seconds. Yeah,
right there, Seattle. They do have the favorable spawns, but Atlanta FaZe, they won a majority of these gunfights, so they're going to be early set up for this P1. 30 seconds left, and just to touch a little bit more on what these teams do specifically on this map, Seattle are #1 in rotation win percentage, 2nd in break percentage, but 8th in hold percentage. And then for Atlanta side, they are 11th in rotation win percentage, 4th in hold percentage, and 3rd in break. So these guys are right next to each other in break percentage. The thing that really stands out is Seattle are a lot better on the rotation, #1 on this map. So as long as they control it by controlling the spawns, they should find some success.
Well, Cellium didn't actually see that play go up top there as well, and a little bit of pressure coming towards P2. And now you can see whether or not FaZe can hold this. There's a lot of Seattle players making their way through, but the kills are all coming through for FaZe so far. The funniest thing about this as well is this game, it should feel like a grand final again, but with the records of these two teams, it really doesn't.
It's just a lot of fight for this matchup right here, because Atlanta FaZe currently 2-2. If they win this, they go 3-2 and potentially earn themselves that winner's bracket spot going into the major. And right now, if you're Seattle currently at 1-3, to get this victory can be massive, because you still have a chance at making winner's bracket, even with a 2-3 record, depending on that map count. But just the way Atlanta FaZe, they're coming out swinging to start this hard point. Flawless P1, followed up by a flawless rotation towards P2, not really allowing Seattle to get any time off of this. Even though they do find every single kill, final 15 should go in their favor, but Atlanta FaZe coming out swinging.
Well, you can see they're coming back off the respawn they're looking for as well, but Pred and Simp just putting them back in the dirt. A few seconds left there for Atlanta FaZe. A benefit here for Seattle Surge. They have the rotation. They're not on the point to begin with, but they are trying to lock down every single route. You can see Atlanta FaZe trying to figure out how to get out. This is Pred, just makes a bit of madness. And it's slowed down Atlanta FaZe long enough. They've got a long trek forward.
Yeah, Pred and Simp yesterday, at least in the Minnesota series, they both went crazy. Both dropping 1.3s, close to 1.4s. It's just all about the other two players, aBeZy and Mack, not really having a good start. Combined 2-14 to start us off in this hard point. They did have the rotation towards P3, but Atlanta FaZe, they successfully break. They get the flip, and now they're gaining some good time.
And now pressure. Arcitys needs to go on Overwatch here. Eventually has to duck out. He knows Ben's going to be pushing him down, but finds Mack. The pre-fire on the Simp. It's not going to work out timing-wise, but it's just enough kills here for FaZe. They are still in the lead. Seattle trying to find something going on. Even with the slaying they've been doing, hasn't been going well. Unfortunately, I say the slaying they've been doing, it's only 2 of their players here at the moment. Stud, they're going to need them to step up.
Yeah, they got to turn their monitors on. There's something going on with aBeZy and Max right now. They have not figured it out, and now they're going into a P4 where statistically Atlanta FaZe are the #1 team at this hard point. They have a 50% break rate, and starting off with Simp finding that punch onto Pred. Fortunately, does not find the second, but they had bodies here. They flip the spawns, and they execute the break beautifully.
Atlanta FaZe have a better position at the moment, but the pressure comes through. And I thought Pred might have 2. He doesn't. Simp eventually gets a little bit of a lot going through, but still more Seattle Surge pushing towards this point, and that accuracy nade has taken down Mack as he was about to rip the hair out of that player's head. And somehow Seattle Surge still make it work. They are in church, they are locked. They'll be looking for P5.
They find all the kills. Now Atlanta FaZe with the final 15. They're still going to try to contest this because they know that they're going to statistically their worst hard point on this game. They really do struggle with P5, and that's what Seattle need to try to capitalize on it. They outscore their opponents by 5 points, 5 to 7 points exactly, but they're also winning a majority of their rotations every single time. It's all about the gunfights now, though. We have to start getting the gunnies warm.
Cellium's here alone. He hasn't got anyone to trade yet, and that stun's going to come through. Simp is here eventually, but the wallbang comes in and the nade at the same time. P5, it's always chaos. It's always a disgusting knife fight in the cupboard. And somehow Seattle Surge come away with this to begin with. It's difficult to break with just all the pre-fire and nades that will be raining through this hard point the entire time.
But Atlanta FaZe, they have more bodies currently in the point. They were able to win these gunfights, actually with the big two-piece. So now allow his teammates to get in the point, but Arcitys follows up with 2 of his own. Now all of Seattle Surge continuously spawning out towards top roof, and then Atlanta FaZe, they're just starting to run away with this game. You need Mack to start stepping up. He really didn't have a great performance, 0.86 in the series versus Minnesota. This is the guy that is the X factor for me on this squad.
He is certainly on fire, but let's find out how they sound in the comms with Atlanta FaZe. Listen in.
I'm mid right now.
I'm holding church there. I'm holding church there.
On team are you? On team about church. On team about you.
It's all good. Take your time, guys. Take your time.
Yeah,
I'm standing near you. I'm standing near you. Just
No, behind me deep. Lamar. Deep. God heady. God
I'm
heady.
checking right corner. Slap.
Nothing care.
He's laying down.
On team about I think
Slap. He's close on you. He's very weak.
Right then.
Back out of that.
When are you Mack?
All good.
Are you Mack? One shot.
Man.
Pushed out.
Gotcha.
You may feel the thing. Let's go mid.
Yeah, I want church. Big close.
Nothing
Medalli dead.
about
Yo, top for church. Only one. Go.
I'm contesting yet.
Stop church.
Jump
down mid.
You, Fred.
Dead. We do not. I'll get mid.
I'm watching.
I don't see Medal. I'm looking top.
Nothing. P3. Lamar mid.
Yeah, get him.
We're gonna flip down. I think we're gonna flip. I went rogue. Chris, can you get him?
Yeah, go.
We flip.
Okay, just hold that.
I'm middle.
Ty, reflect. You should try and go.
I got one.
I'm playing fist though. Push him.
Yo, one struck still. One out front.
I'm playing that.
And the biggest thing right there that stood out to me is to hear Arcitys tell his team to just simply calm down, let's slow down, and let's execute this break on P1. Even with that player in aBeZy getting shut down on that pinch, they still took their time, lick up some nades, eventually find that opening, get some time off of that P1 to keep the lead that they currently have. But now they have to find a break on towards P2, where Seattle are holding this down so far flawlessly.
Yeah, they're trying to get through here, and aBeZy can't make it either. Seattle Surge just stopping every little bit of Atlanta FaZe that tries to poke their head through the door. And Atlanta FaZe, you are right, they do need to slow down. They do need to fix up. Because at the moment, no points on this hill. That lead has dwindled massively. And already, Mack has rotated.
Yeah, with all these kills, I'm pretty sure Atlanta FaZe, they are still going to be able to control these spawns. Now they just have to locate this player in Mack, because he can be the guy that could potentially break their setup going into this P3 to get Seattle back into this game. Simp does find a 2-piece through the middle of the map, so they already have the man advantage. But still, it's all on to Mack. What can he do to hold down this top roof position? It's going to be Arcitys playing it really slow. He's just playing it super patient. These are the adjustments that I'm currently seeing from Arcitys from yesterday to today. Taking his time with the AR in his hand, making those plays, even though he loses that gunfight. He was still doing the right thing. Atlanta FaZe now all spawning out all the way towards field. They do find a couple kills in the feed, and right now, Seattle aren't getting any time.
Oh, Mack will be looking for a glide bomb here. He's on 5. He needs a bit of reinforcement. You can see Atlanta FaZe do not want to push him. One more for the glide, and aBeZy says hello, and Mack says thank you very much. And that will be clinical from Seattle Surge. A lot of pressure coming from FaZe, but they just could not dislodge him at the back.
Oh, wow. Atlanta FaZe are able to find every single kill, even with accuracy. Finding that teammate onto Mack. They're able to get this final 20 seconds, keep the lead growing. And off the rotation, Cellium already has 2 kills in his back pocket. All of Seattle Surge are going to be here, though, spawning right in front of Front Church. Cellium's not going to read it, and Seattle Surge are going to win rotation.
aBeZy, very weak, has to back out of this chow. He was looking towards P5. Atlanta FaZe have slowed down, but maybe a little bit too much. The pressure has been released on Seattle Surge, and they are taking every bit of advantage they can. They are screaming back into this game. Simp going to try and make this push in the church. He's got players with him as well, but Predator Mack combining. aBeZy finally finds a kill onto somebody. And Simp and aBeZy get the job done. Simp's here for the last one, and I say that, and Simp gets a 2-piece.
A big 2-piece coming in from Simp to not go 4 dead. Even though you are controlling the spawns, you do not want to allow Atlanta FaZe to get a good chunk of time off of their best hardpoint on this map. As trades are going back and forth, Mack is now going to be in the time. 15 seconds left. Seattle have got themselves right back into this game. And if you're Atlanta FaZe, you got to be a little worried. You're going into a P5 where it hasn't been statistically good for you guys. And Mack also has a glide bomb to work with.
Well, that last little bit of time goes to church. one benefit. Atlanta FaZe are here in the next point. They have the opportunity to get this job done. They need to be in the point. They're not actually in it yet. They're looking for the kills. They're looking for the kills. 10 seconds gone with no time gained there for FaZe. They'd be at 220 now. They weren't even challenged for it, but here comes Seattle Surge, and Seattle Surge are winning the gunfights. They are getting everything. All that setup, all that pressure from Atlanta FaZe. They got 5 seconds.
That's just a misplay right there from Atlanta. You have players pushed out on both sides. You have one player sitting in the corner right next to that point. They don't eventually find that time, but with 3 kills in their favor, they're able to break right back on in. They cannot win it here, but they can get pretty damn close. As you still have to keep in mind, Mack has that glide bomb to work with, and if you're Atlanta FaZe, P1 has not been treating you well when you get to the 3rd rotation.
Well, at the moment, you can see that last gunfight coming down. Scrap time here for Atlanta FaZe. What will happen? By the way, if they got that first 10 seconds, this game would be over, but it's not. It's P1. It's Seattle Surge. They are in and they are locked, and you are right, Study. Atlanta FaZe does not like this position.
They do not like to be in this place right now. Seattle Surge can still close it out. Pred and Accuracy at least find a couple of trades. The contest is going to be here. This is where Mack can potentially invest his glide bomb, but Pred, he's not missing. An MVP caliber kind of player. Has been stepping up tremendously throughout Stage 3 and Stage 4. Seattle hold on the first push, 30 seconds and counting. They cannot win it here. At least Atlanta do force a next hard point, but you still have that glide bomb just in case.
They do, and they're trying to make a little bit of a fight here, and the benefit for Atlanta FaZe is always going to be that they can keep this pressure on until the very last second. Seattle Surge cannot afford to lose this hill quite yet. With 7 points left to go, and that's what Atlanta FaZe are doing. They have pushed through in the final seconds, and Seattle Surge just don't have it. They could not take a step back, and they did. And Atlanta FaZe, well, they made that win look incredibly difficult.
That's just good work from Atlanta FaZe, because so far throughout their stage, they are dead last in hardpoint break percentage, but they did a great job of, at least on that hill, or in that map specifically, breaking every single hill whenever they wanted to. We know that they're the best P4 team in the game. At P5, they found themselves early on a rotation, probably for the first time ever. They get some good time there, break into every single hard point. But I think the turning point in the game just had to be when it was the P3 right off the rip. Seattle Surge weren't able to get a good chunk of time off for that P2. They did have spawns for the next, but Atlanta FaZe were able to break on in, grow this lead even more, and then just keep a comfortable cushion the entire time. Cellium goes 33-20 with 28 non-traded kills. Atlanta FaZe answer early into the series, up 1-0.
Yeah, really interesting kind of map for me, actually. I think one of the points I want to drop, and so you may be able to back me up on this here.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can kind of watch how a player is playing and tell how they're feeling inside.
Yeah.
And obviously that was reflected in the comms. It looked like Atlanta FaZe were playing incredibly fast. You saw aBeZy, Simp, and Cellium just flying at people and doing very well. And that works out until your team starts to get a little bit disjointed, which is why you heard the call from Arcitys to slow down and kind of regain here, because while they were winning the gunfights, they were losing position. And the problem was, the call was the right one, and somehow Atlanta FaZe slowed down maybe too much.
Yeah, they started off this game hot, super aggressive, winning a majority of their gunfights, but then eventually Seattle starting to wake up. Accuracy and Mack didn't have a good start to this game, started off 2-14, but like you said, when you're playing too fast, eventually a team is going to match your pressure or at least shut down that pressure, and that's what Seattle were able to do. Just a good thing for at least Atlanta FaZe's sake is that they have Arcitys in their back pocket, where he's just telling the guys to calm down, let's slow down, let's execute this break properly, and that eventually is what leads to the success for this map number 1 for Atlanta FaZe. Now, they are up 1-0 in this series, in command of this series, and just the way that Atlanta FaZe have been looking in Search and Destroy in this stage, 4-1 overall, with the majority of their wins sitting around like 6-0, 6-0, 6-2, 6-4 was the closest, but Search and Destroy really has been their bread and butter this stage.
Well, the other thing I need to talk about with that map is it felt like Atlanta FaZe were just letting it go over and over again. And I said it almost felt like a loss for Atlanta FaZe. You wouldn't have been surprised after that P1 come up and Pred was holding it down that they may have ended up losing it all the way through. I don't know, like Atlanta FaZe, they looked so good off the rip, and then slowly but surely they started to lose things. The P3 did not go great for them. And I'm trying to figure out, like, is that Seattle Surge just being slow off the beginning, or is that Atlanta FaZe slowing down?
No, it's definitely Seattle starting slow off the rip because you have Simp and Pred who are both keeping their kills consistent. When you have Accuracy and Mack really starting off slow to this game, that was eventually what costs them this game. Mack starts to turn up at that P3, rotates with about 30 seconds left on the old hill, eventually earns his dive bomb, and for some reason, he didn't even call it in. Like, Atlanta FaZe were trading in a lot of those kills at P1. Mack decides to save his glide bomb all the way towards P2, but they don't even make it there. At that point, you have to invest that glide bomb to give your team at least a little bit of an advantage in these gunfights, but he does not decide to do so. Now they find themselves down 0-1 into this series, going into a search and destroy where Atlanta FaZe are going to have that better record.
Yeah, and I'd be honest with you, like, there's just so much to break down from that game as well, and that's kind of what I'm curious about, especially with a match between these two Titans, right? Like, essentially, Seattle Surge and Atlanta FaZe, it's difficult to say this, but, like, ignoring how Qualifier is gone, even just a little while ago, we were talking about these two being the potential best two teams in the game.
Yeah.
Recent results aside, we know we're going to get some high-level Call of Duty. We know that they've played an awful lot of maps at Major 3. Going to be intimately familiar with what they are expecting every single step of the way. So it's a little bit of that chess game, figuring out where they can take the game, what they need to do better. If they lost a map on LAN or they won the map on LAN, what worked, what didn't work. So we are going to see adjustments real time from these teams moving forward into this game. My issue is based on their recent results, I have no idea who's going to win because they both looked kind of meh.
Yeah, nah, I'm right there with you, man. Seattle, like I said, a bunch of tough losses so far in this stage, 1-3 overall. And then Atlanta FaZe, they take that loss to LAG. We were thinking that they were riding the highs. Before that loss, they just finished 3-0 in Toronto Ultra. But then they come in flat. They lose both hard points there, and then they follow up by losing in Series 2 London. But this is where they have been in their best form in Search and Destroy. Overall, like I said, 4-1 in this stage compared to Seattle, who are 2-3. Biggest thing that stands out for me, though, on this map is that Seattle, at least on their offense, they're at a 53% win rate. They're over 50% on attacking both sides. On the opposite side for Atlanta FaZe, they love attacking both sides, but they see a lot more success at A with a 53% win rate. The stats from Pred, great. The stats from Cellium, 1.6. The MVP caliber players are stepping up, but this is where Seattle need to tie the series up.
Already Arcitys furiously backing off here. That bomb is already going down. And Sid takes down Simp as well. Huge advantage now for Seattle Surge.
Get this bomb down. Now they have the 4v3, but Atlanta FaZe on this map specifically are #1 in 3v4 situations at a 38% win rate. But Simp eventually finds a second with the snipe onto Cellium. aBeZy all the way in the back of their spawn, but with 25 seconds left, both players just have to win huge one-on-ones. Mack takes him down, and oh my! Simp with the snipe finds 3 in the round. Give him the quick scope to end it. Seattle 1-0.
A little bit of flashy end. Just catches him a little bit of a wanted bullet there, bending it around the wall. Takes him down completely, and that's a great start for Seattle Surge. And you got to say the tactic there, get into A fast, get it down, and Arcitys was left a little bit wanting, but yeah, Sid getting that first blood onto Simp as well. It kind of started the beginning of the end on that round.
Yeah, Atlanta FaZe are just not ready for that, especially when you're in a 3v4 situation. The bomb down at A. You allow the sniper to just pick you guys apart. Now you have to respond on an attacking round, and they're fully going to commit towards B. aBeZy, no hesitation on this bomb plant. It's going to be a 4v4 retake, make it a 4v3 as Simp finds the first.
Well, there's another one go down as well. It's been pretty one-sided these rounds so far. Seattle Surge looking for a kill, and aBeZy says thank you. Sib last alive. 1 versus 4. They already know where he is, and aBeZy says thank you for another chow. Easy for him in the end. 1-1. Anticlimactic rounds.
Just a lot of aggression to start us off on these attacking rounds. Seattle towards A. Atlanta FaZe towards B. They find every single kill. 4 up, 4 down. Makes it a clean round for Atlanta FaZe, tied up at 1.
Well, let's see how the rest of this S&D progresses, and just a big picture of Mack on screen, and there's aBeZy eventually. Played so well in that last one. You are right, no hesitation. Those close corners kind of just favor him as well. Hit the slide cancel and just make sure somebody is gone from the map. Arcitys being more aggressive this time, but has to back up again. He'll be calling furiously for reinforcement, but he does not make it out alive. Simp manages to bring it back to a 3 versus 3 as the fight is kicking off around A.
Yeah, they make the adjustments. They do not send Arcitys by himself towards that bomb. They also allow Simp to work through back alley, at least even up the numbers. But look at the positioning from aBeZy. Able to work his way all the way behind Warehouse, not able to find the second. But at least gives the information to his team. But both of them deciding to push out towards back trains. At least they get the information of where Sib is on the map. So it's a 2-on-1 for Sib. If he can just play his life or at least get out of dodge, that's going to be the best play. He finds one, can't find the second, and now it's a 1v1.
Cellium versus Mack. They're going to run straight into each other here, and it's going to be Cellium with a pre-fire, but Mack with a gunfight. And oh my goodness, aBeZy is not happy. aBeZy, the reaction from him. I know he saw it, and he's like, how on earth did Cellium lose that? And they just shot him. They just took him completely out of the game. Cellium caught it almost correct as well.
Yeah, Cellium played that round beautifully. I thought he got the first, split it off. Like, that's got to be a guaranteed kill for MC. But just not able to close that one out as Mack with the snap. Able to clutch that one up for Seattle. Now up 2-1. Atlanta FaZe, they found a lot of success attacking this bomb towards B, and they're not going to get away from it. Immediately going right towards it again, but this time Mack and Fred in a position to stop him.
aBeZy's feeling himself as well. This bomb is going down. Mack may try and look for this, though. And never mind, Simp gets him before he can do any more damage. Advantage again to Atlanta FaZe.
Just way too clean for Atlanta. They're finding kills on the cross. They're getting free bomb plants. Now in the 4v2, make it a 3v2 as Sib does find one. aBeZy still the player that you have to focus on towards this site.
It's
Like around that site. It's impossible. Sib in a 1v3. Cellium does find one, but time for aBeZy to strike. aBeZy closes out the round with another 2-piece. Atlanta respond once again 2-2.
Yeah, aBeZy just hitting the movement there in the hill by himself. Just constantly slide chow, slide chow. There's nobody coming, but he's just making sure that if anybody does, he's a little slippery eel roaming around the bomb site. And they bring it back to a 2 versus 2. The fast B really working for them at the moment. Seattle are favoring A.
Yeah, it's just all attacking rounds to start us off in this search and destroy. Let's see what Seattle try to do. Do they commit towards that A bomb once again? And no. The mind games are starting to come in. Send 2 players aggressively through trains. As Sib is able to at least spot 1 player in Arcitys to get him to back up. But right now, this is a neutral setup. Just going to take their time, play for some information.
Well, Simp, it's always nervous being in this position because you never know when the next challenge is going to come. You feel very, very exposed. There is very little places to go, but he's trying to play around secret. And Seattle Surge are being slow and methodical. They are not moving yet.
It's looking like this bomb is slowly going to approach towards B. So it's going to be on aBeZy to at least get the information that they're attacking this site. Does throw that shoulder, at least spot Sib. So now that's on Arcitys to rotate back. At least crawl the cross for his teammate. As Simp is trying to roam around that middle of the map. But look at number 8 on the mini-map. It's going to be Pred. Already sneaks his way past A.
Well, it looks like they want to put this bomb in towards B, but aBeZy will be there. And they're going to try this. There's going to be 2 players going through as well, but aBeZy is going to get taken down. Cellium does manage to get one back for the 3 versus 3. The pressure now coming in. FaZe are just screaming forward as fast as they can, and Arcitys will find the player on the bomb site with no cover. 2 versus 2.
Got a plant. Your Arcitys just stay alive. You do not need to challenge this. You should be able to close this out because the bomb isn't going to go down. And great work right there from Atlanta FaZe to pay the game clock all the way down to the very end. It's like 2 milliseconds right there from Seattle completing that defuse. I mean, completing that plant, and it makes it a lot more difficult for the last player up on Atlanta. Yeah, I know. That's the thing, is that Arcitys ran up the street, and he was expecting the guy to be planning on the backside towards Warehouse a little bit easier, but Mack actually decides to plan on the backside, and Sib wasn't watching over him, so it was a freebie for Arcitys. Complete breakdown right there from Seattle.
Yeah, they're not going to be happy about that when they watch it back as well, but the fast plant going down this time for Atlanta. There are players from Seattle Surge on outer. They're going to try and get straight into this one, and Pred's already going to see aBeZy. aBeZy goes down. They're looking for that last player. They know Simp is probably in here somewhere as he hasn't come out the back door, and there's the hit marker. Simp's going to go for the chow, but Pred says, thank you. Absolute gunny, and now it's only going to be Cellium left in a 1 versus 3. A technical 1 versus 4 if he can make it, but this is a disaster.
Yeah, if you're Seattle, someone just commit towards hopping the bomb. There's no way everyone should be looking for where Cellium is on the map. But now he makes it a manageable play. 1v2, you know that one player is flanking. Gets a couple shots onto Mack, but accuracy is on a bomb. Huge one-on-one. Now you have to get him a bomb. And Cellium with the 1v4 for Atlanta FaZe. I cannot believe what I am witnessing. What a round from MC. I can't believe that one, Bryce.
Seattle Surge just threw everything into the bin. Cellium, a technical 1 versus 4 as he got the trade, and he played them like a fiddle. But this is the one that Nero had when Rome was burning. Seattle Surge, what on earth?
I don't know what their game plan is, but someone just needs to commit towards the bomb defuse. You have a 3v1. Everyone cannot commit towards finding where Cellium is on the map. With him picking up all those 4 kills, now he finds himself 1 off of the glide bomb. Finds that first blood onto Mack, earns the glide bomb, and this becomes a more difficult task for Seattle to try to win it.
We were talking about aBeZy being the catalyst here for Atlanta FaZe. He was doing so well earlier on, but Cellium, well, he's different gravy, and now Seattle Surge may be a little bit shook.
Seattle Surge definitely shook. In the man disadvantage. Pred trying to be the playmaker, working his way at least through secret. As the bomb is going to start to rotate over towards that A site. It's going to be on Simp to at least give the information to his team that they're approaching it. But Pred is at least able to spot Arcitys towards top fire. Can he get the kill? Yes, he does. The 3v3 now with bomb going over towards A. And no one from Atlanta FaZe in a position to at least stop it.
No, this will be a retake. It looks like that bomb will go down. You can see Simp is trying to get an angle maybe, but an MP40 to do anything in his position. He's going to fight back towards the back, and he wins the gunfight. 3 versus 2, but bomb down for Seattle.
3v2. 40 seconds to work with. A lot of time on the clock for Atlanta FaZe. They're going to decide to attack this out through top plat. Accuracy at least can potentially line them all up. He finds a 2-piece, can't find the 3rd. So now Cellium in another 1v1, this time versus Sib. He knows a clutch spot. Oh my.
Oh, he has to move. He can't get
Gotta go.
Simp. Oh, Cellium, calm as you like. It's right. Nice plant spot, boys. I'll just take a little dip into this room and plant it under your noses. And aBeZy is laughing, and Arcitys is laughing, and Simp is laughing because they've just seen what he's done.
Cellium cannot do anything wrong on this search and destroy. I promise you, if you're Seattle, you're going to be having nightmares about this young man. The way that he is working you guys on this search and destroy. 8 spree, already has a glide bomb. Guaranteed that this bomb is going to get planted towards B. Glide bomb is going to get invested. Atlanta FaZe, like I said, lights out in search and destroy so far throughout stage 4.
Oh, Cellium, right in the book on this S&D at the moment. And it's a huge push up from Seattle Surge. They've taken B control. Unfortunately, they now need to get out of there. They need to get into some cover. Nasty's picked up 1. It's all coming through. He's not able to get Mack, though, but it will be advantage to Atlanta FaZe.
At least they know the positioning of a bunch of players. They find that kill onto Sib. Mack does take down 1. But now they commit towards this bomb plant at B. Great shots from Cellium, not able to get the kill. They have to read this player in accuracy. You're already working his way through the flank. Actually going to be able to slip by 1 player, but Arcitys in a great position to spot him. Now Mack in the 1v3. He gets challenged, and Atlanta FaZe from start to finish of this search and destroy come out swinging all on the back of Cellium. What a performance from him.
That is outrageous. Hits the 1v4 in a 1 versus 2. Doesn't even take the second gunfight. Notice it just to roll that back, because I have to talk about it again. Obviously, the 1v4 was amazing. Played his life, won the gunfights, got the timing, unreal. But the absolute level of confidence on Cellium to kill the first player, knows where Sib is going to be. He's playing clutch stairs. We've seen it a million times. He notices where the position of the bomb is, sees if he can stretch it, picks it up, and turns. So his body is out of the line of sight, and Sib is just sitting there, absolutely useless.
That's the thing, is like, right here, Cellium, he cracks that door open and closes the other doors at the same time. So it makes it a lot more difficult to Sib to see this bomb site. He puts out a couple shots, not getting any hit markers, throws a stun, so at least open a door, but doesn't get any hit markers on Cellium. I'm telling you, the cojones on that man throughout this entire search and destroy were insane. Now Atlanta FaZe find themselves up 2-0 into this series, going into a Berlin control where statistically they're not better than Seattle, but just the way that they are playing right now, non-stop aggression, a lot of confidence. Atlanta FaZe looking like the best team in the game once again.
Well, I didn't know what to expect from the S&D, but it probably wasn't that, to be honest with you. Atlanta FaZe just turning up, and like I said before, right, we were talking about aBeZy earlier on, he being very, very slippy in around B site, making issues for Seattle Surge. What we didn't know is that Cellium was going to completely and totally demoralize them. That's what it's done. That is a mental attack against them. Just nothing they could do. And now we go on to map number 3. Seattle Surge have to regain. They have to figure this one out. But that all.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Mountain Dew and Zenny. Armor your eyes with Blocks gaming glasses starting at $24 by visiting zenny.com/CDL. Upgrade your game with a Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Call of Duty League. It has been a wonderful time, and speaking of wonderful time, it's time to take a look at our Scuff play of the game. Study, it's the 1v4, and I'm going to need you to break it down for me.
So right here, it's all Cellium. You see that he is in the middle alley of hallway. He gets his first kill onto Simp. So now if you're Mack, you have to put your pedal to the metal. Or at least someone on Seattle has to commit towards this defuse, but you allow Cellium to eventually catch that player as he eventually goes for it. That makes it a 1v2, a manageable clutch, gets a couple shots into Mack early on, wins that gunfight, and then he knows that accuracy is committed towards that defuse. Cellium with the 1v4. Pretty sure that's probably the first 1v4, the second 1v4 we've seen all year long. But when plays like that happen, if I'm Seattle Surge, I'm absolutely checked. They have to have the best pep talk to try to complete the reverse sweep. And it's a good thing for them that they're playing Berlin Control because they have won their last 6 out of 7 on this map. They are #1 on the defensive win rate, and they are also #2 on offense. But unfortunately, the game has crashed. So you get to see our beautiful faces a little longer.
You can see a very tired me. It's getting very late here in the UK.
Man.
Fortunately, Call of Duty fuels me, that and Spike for Priestahh. But I want to talk a little bit more about that kind of the scenario we've just seen, because Atlanta FaZe, here's the thing. I like being honest with the audience when we're talking about them at home and stuff.
Yeah.
Coming into this game, we didn't know what to expect, because obviously Seattle, their recent revolts have them beating FaZe, and we wonder whether this could be a stumbling block for them. Considering that both teams don't look amazing this stage as well, it kind of left everything up in the air. One of the scenarios we didn't really consider was that maybe that FaZe come in with that level of fire. They looked amazing on the hardpoint, they looked great on the S&D, and now moving into the control, Stud, do you think this continues?
I think it definitely has a chance to, but it's going to be difficult because, like I said, Seattle #1 on defensive win percentage at 79%, and they are second overall on offensive win percentage as well at 69%. They are really good at this map specifically, and for Atlanta FaZe, they are 7th on their offensive win rate at 45%, 8th on their defense, which is 50%. Not really clean for them. But when you take a look at the stats, at least for Seattle, everyone is sitting over a 1.0 KD. The other side, though, the only player over a 1.0 KD, and it's a good one, is Cellium with a 1.28. But everybody else hasn't really been bringing it on this map for Atlanta.
No, and the truth is now is the time to kind of ramp back up. And here's the other issue with it. Like, we're trying to benchmark these teams and figure out how they are going to perform when we hit New York, when we go to the major. And they're not giving me much to work with. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, some days they look amazing. Other days they don't look very good at all. And realistically, these two teams should be in a fantastic position. We should be talking about these teams like they're both 4-0.
Yeah.
Oh, this will be the one. Do they go 4-1 or do they go 5-0 flawless? No, we're wondering whether or not they're going to make winners at this point.
Yeah, no, it's difficult. Obviously, it's Atlanta FaZe currently sitting at 2-2. The tough loss to LAG really did set them back. So this win at least puts them at a 3-2. They will be able to secure their winners bracket spot if they do pick up this win. But for Seattle, man, they just came out flat off of this stage. And this has to be off of riding that championship wave, because usually when you win a championship, you start to get a little bit complacent. At least for them, they started off this stage playing up against Paris Legion, not the best team that we have in the CDL. They get a clean 3-0, but then every single match after that, they have played a team that has simply wanted it more than them. Boston, they need the points to get in the top 8. New York, they needed those points as well. It just hasn't been going good for Seattle Surge, and really, it's just been in the respawn. This is a team who was dominant throughout the major in respawns. They're struggling so far in this stage, and now you're going up against an Atlanta FaZe team who are looking prime for in Search and Destroy, and you get absolutely smoked there. So it's about to be a difficult task for Seattle to get done, but the reverse sweep is on if they can close this one out.
Wow, let's see. Anything can be written into the book that is CDL history. At the moment, Atlanta FaZe want that book to read, a swift 3-0. Seattle Surge going straight for that 8 point. Probably going to be an easy little bit of a lockdown for them, especially if they're gunning like this.
Great early 2 kills. They are able to get that first second regression over towards B. But you see, Atlanta FaZe, they're just thinking big picture. As long as they control down this train area towards the right side of their mini-map, They should be okay, but the pinch is actually going to be here from Seattle. They have full control of top pat, and they can just rotate right off, finding every single kill in the feed. This is going to be difficult. Arcitys eventually has to rat back.
Atlanta?
What's happening?
Did somebody tell Atlanta we started the game?
Oh, no.
1 kill so far. They're in the blender. They are in the blender. There has got to be something. Cellium manages to find 1 kill. It slows it down a little bit. Sit on a 5 spree as well. aBeZy finds another. Surely they're not going to be able to manage to pull this one back out of the fire.
Seattle Surge, what a start to this attacking round. Already have 5 ticks underneath their name with 2 minutes and 10 seconds to work with. So now it's all in Atlanta FaZe, down by 7 lives. Just maintain control as long as they can. But you have to keep in mind of the positioning of Mack. Already working his way around back plat, just waiting for his teammates to strike.
Now this is where it becomes a lot of pressure onto Atlanta FaZe. Not a step wrong, not a foot out of place. They have only 1 tick remaining, and that might be enough. You can already see Atlanta FaZe have to go. You have to get in a position. They're not even moving at the speed they need to, because already you can see Atlanta FaZe getting straight into it. They have the cuts down as well. And I think this round is done.
Oh, yeah, this round is done and dusted. They have the cutoffs. 1 player committing towards the hallway flank. He gets taken care of. And then Seattle Surge. What a response in the first round of this control to secure both of those points with about 1 minute and 30 left to go. Like, that was the first time I've ever seen it be that dominant on an attacking round. And Seattle Surge, the 2nd best team on this map. Show us why they're really good at it.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, Atlanta FaZe just couldn't get anything going. Look at
Nothing.
that. 8 kills the entire time. They only all get 2. Simp has that by himself. Now he's going to go try and get it forward. And actually goes to close the door, and it gets him cut down. Atlanta FaZe goes straight into 8, and they're going to try and hold this as well, but Cellium will be taken down by Pred, who's very eager and keen to get it. Simp gets 1 back onto it, but Atlanta FaZe need to regain a little bit here on this control.
Yeah, Atlanta FaZe need to get something going because Seattle Surge, they have put themselves in the driver's seat so far in this control. First tick is going to be done at B. Atlanta currently down by 1 life, but Seattle have so much map control over towards Train's side. They're just going to allow Atlanta FaZe to close at this point. They're just playing to trap them in towards that water side, force them to overextend.
Well, all can be forgiven if Atlanta FaZe can find their win as well. But, as we know, that is easier said than done. A long way to get into successive waves of kills and then trying to bottle the other team back into their spawn. It is not easy, and it's even harder if you can't make the kills to begin with.
Yeah, you just got to get out of your base. Right now, Pred is just a roaming slayer, causing them problems around bottom mail room. As eventually he does get taken down, but with number 7 in Mack, his positioning is forcing all of Atlanta FaZe to continuously spawn at that water side, force them to waste a little bit more time on their rotation back to try to get control of trains. And this is playing right into the way that Seattle need them to. Another kill in favor of Mack as they keep control of trains for now.
Every single time Seattle Surge make a kill in this ticket area, it slows down Atlanta FaZe. It burns a little bit of time because they want to make a concentrated push. They want to get the kills down. And the reason for that is not only do they have to get enough players down to move forward, but they need enough players alive to try and get that second wave of kills. And they're just so difficult to do. You see aBeZy right now is trying to be an issue by farming Seattle Surge and keeping them staggered off of spawn.
Oh, well, that's going to be 2 dead. Last player up is going to be Arcitys, unfortunately. His teammates do drop all around him, so now he has to try to go big in this massive play. So he cannot finish this kill onto Pred. Pred is just sliding around, but at least it stalls enough time for the rest of Atlanta FaZe to get into play. Arcitys with the pistol in hand is able to find the 2-piece, and now you see the tick of progression starting to come in, and the stack is here. 2nd tick, Seattle have to go.
Well, 2-piece is going to help out as well. Simp going to try and cut them down as well, and Arcitys was on 4, but it's not going to be enough. That 2nd tick is in, though. And Simp gonna just try and wait here for a second, hold the ticket control. See if his teammates can make some kills on this map, and he does. He finds one himself, waiting for it as well. See Simp, but Simp is equal to it, but that is gonna be 3 down. And Atlanta FaZe are in position. aBeZy gonna jump straight into this point here. He actually thought somebody was gonna be in with him. Nades towards Plat. Atlanta FaZe need to reinforce.
They just need to win their gunfights. Play your corners, force them inside the point, and play your trades. As aBeZy does find the first. Seattle do have multiple bodies here. As it is a 3v2 and man advantage. Simp, unfortunately, does get taken down with only 6 live remaining. Arcitys at least relieves that pressure onto Pred, but the flank is going to be here from Mack. From hallway, he finds that first kill onto Cellium. Now only 5 lives remaining for Atlanta FaZe. No lives remaining as they get taken down 3-6 with 30 seconds to work with.
Simp's on 9 health, and he has to back off. He's going to be challenged as well. They know he's weak, and somehow he wins that gunfight. The dream is still alive. They do not have the numbers. They do not have the time. They do have one chance.
The last push. The last push, but Mack at least finds that first kill onto aBeZy. So Cellium and Simp, what can they try to get done? 2v4, no more respawns remaining for Seattle. The team kill does come in, but unfortunately Simp gets taken down. So for MC, I know you clutched the 1v4, but a 1v3 in control is going to be a little bit more difficult. In Seattle, they hold strong on defense.
Wow. It was a little bit scary there for Seattle, but they do just enough. Arcitys with a hero play almost put Atlanta FaZe over the top. But that doesn't reflect in the scoreline. Seattle Surge lead 2-0. Atlanta FaZe now have to hold the defense and then gear themselves up for an attacking round.
Now if you're Seattle Surge, you're up by 1 segment. Your main focus is just try to close this out as fast as you can. Try to get some momentum going into the later half of this series if they can close it out here. So they're going to attack towards B nice and early. At least they find that trade onto aBeZy, not allowing him to cause them some problems at that B section. You still have accuracy in a position, just holding down Train, not allowing any Atlanta FaZe players to overextend into their base. And now you see what that does for them. That's going to allow them to open up towards Train and be super aggressive already on A.
Pred in a position again. He's caused chaos here again. They don't check it. He's going to go through. Looks for Arcitys. Goes for the chances. Hey, easy peasy. Unfortunately, aBeZy. And now they're going to try and hold this one down. As Simp finds 2 as well. Atlanta FaZe cannot catch a break, and they are just being taken off this map. The benefit for Atlanta FaZe is they did not have the bodies to convert that into any ATICs.
But now, your Seattle Surge, you have another 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So at least try to get some work done at B. Currently up by 4 segments, Atlanta FaZe are able to find every single kill. So now all of Seattle coming off spawn, trying to hit the overextension through water side. Simp might have read this beautifully. He's in a great position to at least cut a couple of these players down. Fortunately, gets some bad timing. So now all falls onto Arcitys. He's eventually going to find one onto Pred. Right now, Seattle Surge, they're just trying to keep control of the lives, trying to play for some couple spawn kills in the back towards fire.
Kills going down, and this is where it gets a little bit dangerous for Atlanta FaZe. They are spread out all over the map. They could easily lose A control here if the trades go against them. And that's why Arcitys, he makes his way all the way down to outside ticket. Very smart play. Get in a position to directly affect how this site is done. And Arcitys finds himself in a position but loses that second gunfight. Mack is not challenging Cellium, and Cellium will have to turn at some point. He knows his players are coming, and Pred will take him down. And Seattle Surge find themselves in a good position again.
Yeah, Mack has stayed alive this entire time, so the first tick is going to be done. Do they read this player on the flank? Yes, they do. And Mack is continuously winning every single gunfight on the point. Finds himself on a 4 spree. Unfortunately, cannot take down aBeZy. At least you get that 1 segment done. Now up by 2 lives. Got a little bit more to work with if you are Seattle. Another 2 kills in the feed. Last 2 players from Atlanta FaZe in toward the point. The pinch is going to be here. If they can win these engagements, they should be able to close this one out.
Oh, they're looking for Cellium. Cellium finds 2 in the point as well, and Pred comes through on the flank at the same time. They hold, but Mack gets a second one. Arcitys goes screaming to it and wins the gunfight. And again, Atlanta FaZe hold, and I'm still not entirely sure how.
Yeah, this is just not clean from Atlanta FaZe. Definitely a lot of work that they have to do on this map. As it's 7-10 in lives remaining. Only 3 kills Seattle have to get. So Atlanta FaZe do not have any more respawns in their back pocket. Arcitys does find 1 before he gets traded. Still 50 seconds on the clock. You see Seattle, they're just slowing down this game. Just trying to play for a couple kills to not allow Atlanta FaZe to spawn anymore.
Again, the pressure coming through. Pred, though, makes another big gunfight. This probably will come down to lives. There's a little bit more time on the clock than there was last time around. aBeZy gets a big kill, though. That is going to stagger Seattle Surge when they want every player in the point. And Arcitys holding the pre-aim. They may have done just enough here.
Final 20. But Simp at least takes down Arcitys, so no more respawns for Atlanta FaZe. Accuracy towards back alley wins a huge one-on-one versus aBeZy. Now you're allowing your teammates to get into the point. Simp does find a trade. Simp does find 2. And Simp finds 3. Now in a 1v2. Still manageable for Pred. Simp finds 4. And the players all the way across the map. Simp goes big for Atlanta FaZe to clutch up this defense and keep his team alive in this game a little longer.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you make the CDL's top 5 plays, because we need to see that one again.
Just finds these easy shots onto Simp. Then the second kill onto Mack. But then the player in accuracy, he is given a couple shots down, just not able to register on Simp. Gets the turn and burn and then knows that Pred is on the flank. Huge one-on-one. If he loses that, obviously they lose the map. But with him winning that, he allows his team to stay alive a little longer. He's starting to step up in this game, find himself on a 4 spree. If he can potentially pick up this glide bomb, that could be massive.
Well, we spoke about essentially.
Oh my!
Different. Simp is different. Simp is different. Gotta wait. I know you're gunning. I know you're gunning, but maybe just a half step off there as well. aBeZy tries to farm the spawn. It doesn't work out for Atlanta FaZe. They do so much hard work. They're trying to win this attack desperately, but desperation has made them a little bit sloppy. And now they're going to have to settle for maybe just getting into B, but there's still a sacking ticket here.
Yeah, right now they find themselves down by 4 segments. So if you are Atlanta FaZe, you need to obviously win this round to force a round number 5. They get that 1 tick over towards B. They find themselves up by 3 lives. 3 players from Seattle just holding down this 8 points. So if you're Atlanta, just chalk this one up. Extend this time by a minute and close out B.
See already, aBeZy trying to farm it again, but the problem with farming is he hasn't had a good time in getting kills regardless, and Cellium tries to make a wonder shot. And eventually, B will slowly but surely tick over. I think Mack might try and get a kill on the exit here, or at least maybe in the entrance. He finds one already, looks for the second, not going to be enough. 3 down now for this one, and they're going to be into it. That's a big gunfight, accuracy wins. It does mean Atlanta FaZe have to go the long way.
And big kill from accuracy to at least keep that Mack control over towards that 8 point. And now if you're Atlanta FaZe, it's all about taking your time, winning your engagements, and chaining them together. As Simp does find the first Pred with the trade. See, Atlanta FaZe is trying to at least play for somewhat of train control, because there's a lot of bodies from Seattle here. And Seattle is starting to get this lives back into this favor. Accuracy, unfortunately, can't win that gunfight onto Simp, but they are still holding strong on defense.
They need to figure something out. They have time, though. Pred and Simp trying to figure this one out, and Pred slowly but surely looking for him. He's going to find Arcitys. Easy for that one, and Simp is going to gun him. That's going to be 2 down. The last gunfight's going to be Simp. Simp has to work some more magic for his team. He's looking for Cellium. He's going to find him, but he's not going to go down. He dives into this point looking for it and wins the gunfight. Just holding that door firmly closed against FaZe. But another 3 goes down to aBeZy eventually on. And he's not had a good game, but a 3 streak from him here could make the difference. But somehow Seattle Surge still have a player. There's always a player from Seattle Surge out towards back steps, and it keeps bailing them out of this game.
Such big kills from Mack right there to find that 2-piece. To give his team a little bit of control towards trades, but you see the lives remaining 10-8. Atlanta FaZe, they're focused on playing for a bunch of these spawn kills, so at least putting it in their favor. That's going to be 2 down. They know that the pressure is going to be here from Mack. Mack does find 1. But you at least have to try to get him out of his positioning. You cannot leave him there. You're just going to try to slowly work for him, and this is playing right into Seattle's hand.
Atlanta FaZe have the life advantage, but they don't have the time. They're looking desperately to win this first trade. aBeZy's going to find him on the flank. He's going to go down as well, though, but Arcitys is going to get another one. Simp gets 1 more. The problem is, FaZe have to go. They have the numbers, but they do not have the time. Cellium finds 1 as well. FaZe are streaming towards this. So 6 versus 3, but it's easy to hold. Cellium finds another one. They find another one. They are getting into the capture point. Pred finds 2, though. He's going in. Simp dives into it, finds the first and guns the second. And of course, it's Simp again. Atlanta FaZe bring it to round 5. What is going on with the tightness of these control rounds?
Simp and aBeZy are just roaming around, finding 2-piece after 2-piece. But if you're Seattle, at least you get a breath of relief, knowing that you have defense going into this round number 5, because you did not allow Atlanta FaZe to get any ticks over towards that 8 point. So now, round number 5. This time, see, Atlanta FaZe, they're going to play this completely different. At least the first two attacking rounds, they sent a lot of pressure towards B, but they're going to play this slow towards trades, and they find the opening 2 kills. Last player here is going to be aBeZy. You at least have to try to get out where your life will get one. He does exactly that, and the pitch is going to be here. Allows his teammates to get here, and Seattle should have the numbers to break right on it.
Well, they look for it as well. Cellium versus Mack. It's a huge gunfight. Mack does manage to take it. And Atlanta FaZe opened the playbook for that one. It was a bait towards B. They were waiting for Seattle Surge to make a move, and it almost paid out. A couple of kills from Seattle Surge just eventually stopped them, but that could have been disastrous.
So now if you're Atlanta FaZe, you are up by 1 life. Someone has to just stop this clock by hopping on that B point, because you know the way that Seattle have been playing their defenses so far, basically giving up B, pushing out trains, and forcing you to overextend every single time. So first tick is about to be complete. See the map control as Pred. He's actually going to try to strike this at least through middle P5. Able to get out with his life, reposition himself to the front door. And he could potentially be the playmaker. He gets shut down by Arcitys as the second tick at B is about to be complete.
Just trying to stay alive and make sure they get that time and the lives. Both very important here on the control, especially with how close it has been. Actually going to go in for him and find Simp, but Simp said, hey, good job, mate. Try again next time.
Simp has had himself a turnaround to this game. The sole player to keep his team alive so far in this control, as B is going to get captured. Atlanta FaZe are down by 2 lives. A big kill coming in from Pred, but also a big kill from Arcitys to at least now have somewhat of train control, to allow now his teammates to rotate back towards him and fight this through the front. 1 minute and 30 on the clock.
It's still difficult for FaZe. I know they've done it over and over again, but Simp hits the long slide. They're going to try and get a couple more kills onto the board here. Trades going through. Atlanta FaZe will be back into this. They don't have their flank fully secured, but what they also don't have is A.
They do not have anybody in a position to at least stop them, but the flank is going to be here once again. Accuracy, unfortunately, not able to find that 2-piece, so Simp, the last player up, at least stalls time for his teammates to get into the play. Simp just playing the contest as long as he can before the chow comes in. And Cellium was another gunfight, so now that's 2 players on point. First ticker's already in. They shut down the flank. Do they read the second player on flank? They do not. So what can Mack get done on this pinch?
Well, they managed to make 1 kill. That slows down just enough. Arcitys finds the player coming through. He knows he's going to be there. They have to make the next 2 gunfights as well. And Seattle Surge, they win it with a 2-piece, 2 ticks in, and a sliver to go. And they find it. They desperately find it. Simp finds another kill. Now, can they find 1 more and allow them to move forward? aBeZy wants to find Pred off the spawn, but he's not going to get it. He's not been having an awful lot of luck doing that so far. Accuracy tries to stay down. He knows there are players swarming towards him as well. Arcitys going to get this one. Cellium going to get another. Unfortunately, aBeZy has spawned in Narnia, and so has Simp.
In this round, my simply just coming out alive. 6v6 remaining. And Arcitys might have found an opening. He's going to be able to set up this pitch. Finds the first kill onto Mack, but not able to find that trade onto Simp. What a big kill from Simp to at least relieve some pressure. And Atlanta FaZe do not have any more respawns left. 25 seconds into 3v5.
Well, make it 3 versus 4. 20 seconds. A 3 versus 4. The FaZe have it in them again to do the magic. Simp, who's pulled him out of the fire twice, is going to be dead. aBeZy finds 1. He knows where Civ is as well. He's going to go for the chow, and he gets it. aBeZy gets the second one. They're in. They're in. Arcitys gets the kill. Accuracy now for a 1 versus 2. Where is he? Is he going to be in the right position? aBeZy is waiting for him to peek, and aBeZy finds it. The control comes down to a clutch again for FaZe. And oh my goodness, it is one of the most difficult series I've ever had of not swearing, but Atlanta FaZe in 3.
What the hell was that? I thought Seattle, at least off the rip, they came out swinging. They secured that very first offense in about 1 minute and 20 seconds by completing both segments. They're looking like they were the team that was going to run away with it. They respond on defense, go up early 2-0. But then this is when Atlanta FaZe start to come alive. If Simp doesn't get that 4-piece early on the defense, they do not give themselves a chance to at least clutch up in the round number 5. He does that there. And then in the final moments on their attacking rounds, none other than Simp once again with a massive 2-piece to clutch it up for Atlanta to force the round number 5. And then it was all on aBeZy on that flank towards Stone Steps. Able to find another 2-piece. The Tiny Terrors just came out and absolutely caused so many problems for Seattle Surge, and this was also a bounty match. Nice little $10,000 going in favor of Atlanta FaZe. Get the clean 3-0 victory and also secure that winner's record spot at the major.
I'm not gonna lie to you, definitely almost dropped some words I shouldn't have used towards the end of that one. What on earth was that control? I'm actually shaking a little bit because it's just so ridiculous. Everything we have seen, every round was some kind of... There are no words that I'm allowed to say on broadcast that can sum that up, but I think you know what I'm getting at, and
yeah, I'm right there with you, Bryce. Just from start to finish of this series, you're expecting two titans in the CDL to battle at every single aspect, every single map, every single rotation. Atlanta FaZe come out swinging in the map number 1. They dominate in the map number 2, courtesy of Cellium. But then for them to have the resilience to come back in this control versus a team who have been fairly dominant on this map, winning 6 out of their last 7 on Berlin. But when you have the Tiny Terrorists able to find 2-piece after 2-piece to open up a bunch of these pushes for them, that is when Atlanta FaZe are at their best. Atlanta FaZe just make this one look like the Atlanta FaZe that they're supposed to be. Clean 3-0, baby.
Oh, aBeZy got the final few, but I think Simp just went, all right, I'll take care of this myself. I don't even know.
Bryce,
I've had a lot of fun, son. I've had a lot of fun.
You gotta go to bed, man. You gotta go to bed, bro. It's like 3 in the morning for you. We gotta bring the desk in. We just gotta bring him in, man.
Yeah.
Bryce, you are a soldier. Good job, man. You killed it. Dude.
Yo, Bryce, what time is it over there right now? Oh, you got him out of here. Good night, Bryce. Go to sleep. Bryce, what time is it right now over there, man?
It's 3 a.m.
All right, take your butt to bed, man. I'll talk to you later. All right, hey, Atlanta FaZe finally beat out their longtime rivals this year in Vanguard and Seattle Surge. Just weren't enough, but yo, can we talk about Simp for a second, Haly? Did you see what he was doing to keep the game alive?
It's disgusting. Like, he literally saved that round by himself and gave them the momentum to close out the series in 3-0. Like, I'm gonna be honest, after that first round, I was terrified in Atlanta's shoes. Seattle looked so dominant on the map in the first 2 rounds, but they were able to bounce back just like that.
You're right. Nameless, man. How you feeling?
I mean, it was literally everyone on this team had their crazy moments. Like, Simp killed, what, 5 people at the end of that round in order to get them back into it, and then we saw aBeZy at the very end. Like, this spree right here was nuts, and we saw it from the opposing view. We saw it from Accuracy's view. He just sees Simp go crazy in the hill, and then he tries to jump in through that window with his pistol, ends up getting smoked by Simp, and then Pred comes in for the trade, and Simp wins it once again, and there's just not enough time for Simp to get back to the hill. And then at the very end there, we saw what aBeZy was able to do. Like, odds against them, 3-4 situation. They had a player on the steps looking at flank. He wins the tough gunny and then gets the 2-piece to open it up for them. Just an insane control, that search and destroy as well. Like, I hope we get to talk to Cellium about it because those clutches were out of this world.
I really do. You know, when Simp plays like that, it's pretty hard for Seattle to win, man. It looks like there was just no God Slayers in the lobby. But actually, speaking of Cellium, we actually have a game field victory spotlight with the 1-0. Look at the man with the beautiful fro and all cells. Congrats on the big win. But my question to you is, how does it feel to finally take care of Seattle after all those games, man? They had your number for so long.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a tough match for those guys. So obviously getting a win versus them is it's good confidence for us, and also we clinch winner spot. So our team's happy right now.
Congrats.
Absolutely, congratulations. I mean, a big 3-0, and I got to talk about search and destroy. Obviously, you're ace. Like, you were literally like, it looked like you're playing with your food. Like, obviously, they kept expecting you to rap into dubsteps, but you just kept repeating them. I just want you to talk me through your thought process.
Yeah, I mean, I just killed in that 1v3 or 1v4, whatever it was. I just checked the bomb, killed one, and I knew the other guy like would have to push me or like either like hold an off angle, and then I had him one shot, and I knew as soon as I had him one shot, I knew I won the round because it was a free dub. So.
Cellium, I want to ask you, a lot of these times when you guys are losing these respawns, it's like close moments, and you guys, the clutch moment just gets away from you guys. Well, in this series, the clutch moments, you guys clutched up every single time. Headed into this series versus Seattle, who have clutched up on you guys a bunch of times in the past, was there like a different level of intensity for this match?
No, I would say we kept the same intensity. I just feel like today we started clutching up a lot, and that's what we've been focusing on in scrim, just trying to like clutch up our man advantages, like up one, you know, like stuff like that. So that's what we've been trying to focus on, and it showed for this series. So I'm happy about that.
All right, and then one final question. Well, kind of a two-part. For me, this is my little nerdy question, I guess. When it comes to your respawns, obviously the struggles have really been here in the stage 4 compared to your 1 through 3. Has it just been because you're focusing so much on search and destroy and honing in on that game mode? Or has it just been, it's just been falling short, things just haven't been going y'all's way?
Nah, I honestly think it's just that hardpoint. I think we've been slacking off a lot in like just scrims. I think our hardpoint right now is off compared to how it used to be, and then I mean, yeah, it's just been off, to be honest. And I think coming soon, like our team's gonna try to focus on that a lot. So.
All right, that's a big hearing that from you. All right, man, Cells, we're gonna see you soon. Anything you gotta say to the Atlanta FaZe fans out there? It's been a while since we interviewed you guys, longer than usual.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say I appreciate all the fans and our team. Our team sees everyone supporting, and our team's trying to work our hardest to try to take home a chip. So all of us support everyone. So appreciate it, guys.
All right, Cells, man, you have a great night. Congrats on the big win. It's a late night, man. Go to bed.
Yeah, appreciate it. Good night, guys.
No problem. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the CDL points because, yo, today has been incredible. There's so many teams on the bubble right now. Yo, Nameless Alley, we have a three-way tie right now. 140 from Minnesota, LA, and Florida. But even LAG are right behind about 5 points. This is madness.
This has easily been the craziest week for points. I feel like the standings were kind of stagnant there for a while, and then this weekend alone, the past 2 days, things have hit the wall and gone Havok. Like I said, New York Subliners fans, I'm so sorry if you are rooting for them right now because like Ann said earlier, man, they have got to just win their own major at this point.
To control
because,
right?
your fate is in your own hands at this point, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, this is just epic. I mean, we have 3 teams at 140. Toronto Ultra still struggling, sitting at 150. It's going to get real interesting. New York is going to be crazy, man. There's so much on the line. Players that never played for this much. It's gonna be nuts.
The major is gonna be an absolute bloodbath. Like, this is the playoffs for the biggest event of the year. But also, check this out. The Game Field Tactical Play had to do with Cellium, the guy that we just had in the interview, and he got that ninja defuse off.
Dude, this guy had some of the most ridiculous clutches all in one map. Like, the plays right here. He runs over to bomb. He sees Simp jiggle peeking from the steps, like the normal clutch spot. He opens the door, and he gets like on the bomb from an angle where he knows Simp can't see it from the steps, and I think he recloses the door as well. And you see Simp tries to send out to open that door, maybe scare Cellium off the bomb, but Cellium doesn't bite. He commits to that defuse, and you can see just a little smirk like, nah, I knew I had him the whole time.
I'm telling you, I don't know what it is, man. I've been really critical about FaZe lately, but watching FaZe win a game like that, especially against Seattle Surge, is nothing but magical, right? But ladies and gentlemen, I mean, this is kind of bittersweet. We have one more regular play day. We have Major 4, and then Champs. This is it.
Last Saturday.
This is it. This is the last Saturday. We held it down for the last Saturday, too. Let's give me some love, baby. All right, ladies and gentlemen, check this out. Tomorrow is our last online qualifier play day. You do not want to miss it. And you want to know why? We saw the points. The bubbles are out of control right now. And when it comes to teams racing for that final spot in Champs, every team is going all out right now. But me, my eyes are all on NYSL, baby, because those players are on a team that's hosting the next major, and it would be absolutely beautiful if they can walk away with the trophy. But you know what, though? We're not there yet. We got one more day of games, so you guys know exactly where to see it. Same place, same time. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. You guys already know the deal, though. Spread some love. I love you. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time for some more CDL action. Take care.